Hey, this is David Miller with the Miller Group of Keller Williams Realty, and I have Shelly Smith on the line with me here from Knock. How you doing today?
Hey David, great. How are you?
Doing well, doing well. So we're going to be talking about a big problem that we're finding in today's market, and these are folks that have a lot of equity in their house, and they're needing to sell their house before they buy because they got to pull the equity out and be able to use that to purchase their new house. So there's people that need to either get a larger house because their family is growing, or maybe they're downsizing into a smaller house, or maybe they need to get into a new school district. And the problem that we're seeing in today's market is that with the inventory being so low, homeowners are really concerned about what's the best way to do this here. Do I put my house on the market first and then I buy, or do I do the opposite? And quite honestly, they have to do it the first way. They do have to sell their house first, is what they're thinking. So the problem that we have in a market with very low inventory is that the concern from a homeowner is that if I put my house on the market, it's going to sell very quickly and I'm not going to have time to find a property. And number two is, since the inventory is so low, I'm going to have a hard time finding a property in today's market. And so the concern, if I sell it too quickly, I don't want to be homeless. I don't want my family to be homeless. And I don't want to have to make the move twice. Because if I got to, pack up and then move into an apartment and then have to do it, I got to, that's a lot of stress. And there's also a lot of money that goes into that there. So the other concern is that when they're looking for houses, that they may find a house, but if they got to use a sales contingency to put an offer down and sell it, that really knocks them out of the game because there's usually multiple offers. So I wanted to share today this great offer that Knock provides that really allows you to buy before you sell. So you can basically use the equity in your house that allows you to buy before you sell so you don't have to worry about that. So I'm going to share that with you guys real quick. Shelly here is with Knock. She's been in real estate for about, I think you said 11 years. Is that correct?
That's right. Yes. Been in real estate for 11 years.
Perfect, perfect. Okay. So Shelly, are you able to see this, my screen here? Just want to make sure everybody can see it.
I can, yes.
Perfect, perfect. So I'm going to share the key program parts of the program here with you. As I mentioned, one of the best things about the program is that you're able to purchase before you buy. So Knock is a lender, okay? So they're able to get you pre-approved for the house that you're wanting to buy prior to buying it. Now, when you're able to buy before you sell, you don't need to do a sales contingency when you're putting an offer on a property. So that is going to allow you to be head and shoulders against other people that do need to sell their house before they buy, which is a big benefit. Now, another concern, Shelly, I find from buyers and sellers is that, well, I don't want to have two mortgages at one time because I can't afford it, or I just don't feel comfortable having two mortgages. So another nice benefit of the program, Shelly, is that it allows you to, the Knock program is going to pay your first mortgage up to 6 months. So you have up to 6 months to sell your house, and you don't have to be paying two mortgages at the same time. Is that correct?
That's correct. So we advance from the client's equity the down payment up to 20% plus up to 6 months of old mortgage payments. We also cover up to 25,000 in home prep to get the listing ready for the market.
Okay. So when you're selling your house, no matter how good or bad the market is, I always tell my sellers that houses in top showing condition consistently sell for more money. So what she just mentioned is that you can move first into your new house, and then you can invest money into your old house to get it in the top showing condition. And Shelly, you said that you're able to provide up to $25,000 that they can use to do that. Is that correct?
That's right, up to $25,000 in home prep funds to get the listing ready for the market so that it sells at top dollar. And that's for cosmetic updates to help you have the best return on investment.
Right. Well, that's awesome. That's awesome. Now, the other benefit of the program, if you think about it, is when you do put your house on the market, You have the inconvenience of showings. If you have kids or pets, you know what I'm talking about. They got to get everything ready. The house got to be clean. You got to walk out the door before they come in. And in today's market, if your house is priced right, you're going to be out of your house for a couple of days until it goes under contract. So the nice thing about this here is that when you actually do put your house on the market, you already moved out. You know, you've already made that one move and it's vacant. So you don't have to worry about all those showings and open houses and everything else that occurs when you're selling your house. Is that correct?
That's right. You also get to avoid those COVID cleanings, worrying about people coming in and out of your house. You get to skip all of that hassle with the home swap.
Absolutely. And I think one of the best things is your level of stress is going to be a lot lower. Because if you're trying to buy and sell at the same time and your closings the same day or so, that's a lot of stress. But in this scenario, you can buy and you can move into that new house when you want to move into it. Rather than taking a Wednesday or Thursday off, you can do it over a weekend. And then you can put your house on the market when you want to put it on the market. So it gives you that flexibility. Is that correct?
That's right. Yes. So your listing goes on the market within 45 days of closing on your new house. So, like David said, you have time, you've got some flexibility about when you move into your new house, but you get to do that before your listing goes on the market.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Now, I do have a couple of questions I get from potential homeowners that I tell them about this program. So, what's the catch here? This sounds awesome. I can use my equity without having to sell my house first. Is there a cost associated to this at all?
That's a great question. So there is a convenience fee. So we have a 1.25% convenience charged on the purchase price of the new house. That can be rolled in either to the rate or to the loan, but Knock has no origination fee. So where a traditional lender would charge an origination fee, we do not have an origination fee. And we have the 1.25% convenience fee. The equity advance, so where we're advancing your equity for your down payment up to 20%, paying up to 6 months of old mortgage payments, and up to $25,000 in home prep is all 0% interest for up to 6 months. So I know that sounds unheard of. We get that all the time. Sounds too good to be true. It's not. 0% interest for up to 6 months on the equity advance. So you get to use your money and pay it back dollar for dollar, what you use to make the transition into the new house.
Which is nice. And let me tell you, 1.25% of the purchase of your new house. Um, if you aren't using this program and you had to use a sales contingency to purchase a house and you happen to find a seller that's willing to do that, which is hard to do in a market with low inventory, you're going to end up paying more for that house than you would if you were using a program like this without a sales contingency. Because when you use a sales contingency as a buyer, you're losing leverage. So in order to have a seller pick yours, you're going to have to pay more than somebody else would. The other side of that is if you did find somebody willing to do that and you went under a contract and you were to sell your house, you would price your house well below market in order to get it sold quickly so you can meet that sales contingency and be able to buy that new house. So that 1.25% to me, from my perspective, for the convenience factor is really a wash because you're going to end up paying more if you try to do it yourself. Is that correct?
That's a great point. Yes, that's correct.
Okay. The other question I have for you is, well, how about your interest rates? I mean, you're a lender. Are you making money on interest rates? Are they a lot more expensive than other lenders out there?
So they're not. Actually, we audit our rates daily. We compete with other lenders in the open market. There is no upcharge for the home swap in terms of your interest rate. So the interest rate is competitive. The only thing that's different is that 1.25% convenience fee David just covered.
Perfect. Perfect. And how about types of loans? Are there any special loans you do?
Yes, so the home swap actually works with conventional conforming loans.
Okay.
This conforming loan limit this year is 548 250 in your market. So this works for conventional conforming loan products up to that 548 250 limit.
Gotcha. Gotcha. And I'm just curious, if somebody were to apply, how long does it usually take to get a response back on what they're approved for? And so they can get like a pre-approval letter they can use and start looking for homes with their realtor?
Sure. So a pre-approval letter is much more in-depth than a pre-qualification letter. Our pre-approval letters take 24 to 48 hours once we have all of the client's documentation in, which is sometimes the holdup, right? So most people don't have all of those bank statements and everything sitting around handy in one place. So once we have all of that information, we can turn that pre-approval around pretty quickly.
Fantastic. So when the buyer finds the house and they are able to get it under contract because they don't have the sales contingency, what's the typical close time on this type of loan? Is it similar to most other loans, or does it take a little bit longer?
Yeah, this is similar to most loans. This is a 30-day closing. So you can be in your new house within 30 days, which I think is fantastic.
Okay. And the last question I have for you is, a lot of people are familiar with bridge loans. How is this different than a bridge loan? Because it sounds like a bridge loan, and we haven't seen those in years since the market a long time ago. So how is this different than a bridge loan?
That's a great question. So, the problem with the old bridge loans is number one, they considered the client's debt on the old house against them. So, they would qualify for less than they would if they did not have that debt on the old house, right? So, a lot of times you had a qualification issue to qualify for the new house. But also, old bridge loans were typically 15 to 20% interest and due in 90 days. The home swap is 0% interest for up to 6 months, and we overlook the debt on the client's old house. So you have the same buying power you would have if the listing had already sold without having to sell your listing first.
Wow, that is very strong. And that's one of the reasons we've had somebody on our real estate team already use it. And they've already bought a house and they're in their process of prepping their house right now. And he had nothing to say but positives. Actually, if you go to our webpage, www.orlandohomeswap.com, we have his testimonial on there you can take a look at. Well, listen, Shelly, I know that you're busy. I appreciate your time. And thank you for providing the additional information. If you are interested in this program, please give us a call. We are certified NOC agents. Not all realtors are. This is to specific brokerages here. And our number is below 321-236-6761. Or just go to the webpage there, www.orlandohomeswap.com. Shelly, once again, thank you for your time.
Thanks, David.